Hello everyone, it is Teresa from Teresa's Silhouette Spot for all things art, where I love sharing art from my heart. Today we are doing this mermaid sunrise. So let's get started. I'm going to turn my camera around and I'm going to show you what is in the kit. Okay, so you guys have a paint kit and it comes with all of this information and all of this stuff. So you have an 8x10 pre-drawn out sketched canvas. You have a reference photo. You have this piece of foil. I give you guys this foil. Well, I use this plate for my paint palette, but I give you guys this piece of foil for your paint palette, and then you can just toss it. I have all the paint you need. This project takes yellow, orange, white, and green, and then there's a bit of black, but I keep it folded up in here so it doesn't leak. Okay, and then 2 brushes. You have a big brush, the flat brush, and a smaller brush, the liner brush. Right, and then we have this little information card. Tells you everything that's in the packet, plus other supplies you need, such as something to keep your surface clean, a table covering, scrap paper, newspaper, paper towels, whatever you want to use, paper towels to keep your brush dry and clean, and then a cup of water. I use this bin, but you can use a plastic cup or a cup from the kitchen, whatever it is you need, because we'll be washing our brush out every so often. Okay, so let me get this stuff out of the way and we can get started. I have my canvas pre-drawn as well. I paint on, when I do these kits and these video tutorials, I paint on what's called Bristol board. It's a very hard cardstock. This way I can store them easier. It's much easier for me to store these pieces of cardstock in a binder or a book than it is to have all these canvases. So I too have my paint out. I have my white, my yellow, my orange, my green, and my black. I was painting other things, so don't worry about these other colors, the red and the blues. I have my 2 brushes. I have my large flat one, and then I have my liner brush. Okay? And my sample, I'm going to get comfy, and we will get ready to paint. So the first thing we want to do, we're going to use our big brush, and we're going to load it with our yellow paint. And when I load my brush with paint, I don't stick it right into the middle of the pile. I pull it out from the side and I turn my brush over and over and over. This way we get a nice amount of paint in the brush. And the first thing we're going to do, and if you need to draw this on and get a pencil and draw a circle, I didn't draw everyone's sun because I figured we could do it. So if you want to pre-draw a little circle or trace the bottom of one of the black paint container, that's up to you. I'm just going to go in and I'm going to draw a circle. And I do it just freehand like this with the paint because I'm not concerned about it being perfect, and you shouldn't be concerned about it being perfect either. Okay? It's fine. It's art. Art can't be wrong. So now that I have my yellow sun, I'm going to go back in and I'm going to pick up some yellow and a little bit of orange on the other side. So now I have both colors on my brush. You see that? I'm going to touch the yellow to the yellow, and now I'm going to go around and keeping the yellow to the yellow and the orange to the outside, I'm going to make a bigger circle. And this is it. We're just going to make circle upon circle upon circle, and we're going to keep switching. So again, I'm going to pick up my orange and my yellow, but this time I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to put my orange on my orange, and I'm bringing my yellow to the outside to make another stripe of yellow. Keeping the orange on the orange and the yellow to the outside. Okay? Now, this is where it gets fun. I still have my yellow and my orange. I'm not going to worry about cleaning my brush. This time I'm going to pick up yellow, and on the orange side, I'm going to pick up a little green. Okay, so now we have green and yellow and orange. And I'm going to now keep my yellow to the yellow, but I'm adding in the green. And now we have a mix of the green and the orange and whatever deeper green or orange color that the green and the orange make. Okay, now I need a little bit more green, sorry. I'm going to pick up some more green. Now I'm going to pick up, again, now I'm going to get orange and green. And I'm going to keep the green to the green. And this time I'm adding a little orange out there. And you see here where there's no more room for circles? I'm just going to go in there and add that orange to that corner. Okay? And that's it. We're going to keep layering, marrying the first color that we had, and then adding a different color as we make these bands and these stripes bigger and go out further. We're going to start going over our tree a little bit, but you should be able to see your tree line and your tree outline through the paint. If you see, sometimes I have to go back and forth with it. Maybe I don't have enough paint on my brush and I need to get a little bit heavier coverage because I'm running out of paint. So I'm just going back and forth. I don't want to go back into my green yet, but I am going back and forth with my oranges and my yellows. Okay, I'm going to go in now. I'm going to pick up some green again and some yellow, and I'm going to add another band in here. Now you could do your whole entire background like this and then go in and add your tree in, but to keep things simple and to help you guys out with the kits, I do all the tracing first and then we go back in. Okay, so where was I? I'm going to go back to yellow and the green. So I'm putting the green against the green, and now I'm adding another yellow. And we're almost done on the bottom, if you can see. And obviously, as you need more paint as these rings or these bands get larger. So I will do yellow and orange again. I keep the orange to the orange. And this time I went right under the mermaid's tail. I'm not going to cover in the whole mermaid, but I went right to its tail because now we'll be done with the bottom section. And we'll just move up here now to the rest of the tree. Because now this will be all filled in with the black from our mermaid silhouette. So again, I'm going to get the orange and the green. I'm going to put my orange against my orange and come out with the green. And now up here, I'm just using my dirty brush and I'm filling in these spots that won't have black. We don't have to keep going and going and going and covering up this whole area. Okay? And the same thing in here. I'm going to pick up a little bit of green and I'm going to come in here and go around the shape of my mermaid. Okay? Now, I want a little bit more green in here, so I'm just going to go back in, pick up some green, and sweep it through here, making sure my brush is nice and wet. Okay? And then some yellow. And these colors all go really well together. The green and the orange and the yellow. So you don't have to worry about making mud. Okay? And don't worry, we're going to go back in. We're going to add some white to this. We're going to define our sun a little bit in the middle there, and it'll all be good. So this is why I tell you guys to use a cover table for your covering for your table. There you go. Because, you know, you tend to go off the edge a little bit, and we definitely will go off the edge when we do our black here. So, okay, let's wash our brush, and we're going to go to the black. Let me show you guys what it looks like so far. So this is what we have. Okay. I just went in here with my dirty brush and went into all the parts that were not going to be tree up here in the corner. And then we have our blended sunrise. But we're going to add some white to the, where is it? We're going to add some white to our sun, and then a little bit of white in here to our the rest of our sun rays. Okay, and now we're going to do the black for our mermaid and the tree. Oh wait, I have to do the back of the mermaid. Oops. So back to my brush. Sorry guys. Yeah, do all this in here. Okay, where was I? Green. So let's pick up some yellow and some orange, and we'll go in here. Again, keeping our black where our black is going to be. So now we have orange and green, because we're just going to follow the steps that we did to get here, and then silly me forgot that we had to do this whole part in here. Okay, now we have green and yellow, and so that's all I'm doing. I'm picking up the first color I had, and then adding the next color, and then going back and forth with that and blending them. And then in here you might lose this spot a little bit, but we'll try and keep it, is the back where she's leaning back against the rock. That's a little tiny spot. You may get it filled in with your black, but we'll try not to. Okay. And don't worry if you go over the parts where your black is going to be. That's why we do the background first. So when we go in and do our black, whether we use the big brush or the liner brush, we'll get a nice fine black line. Okay. So now I am going to in fact wash this brush and show you guys again. So there we go. Sorry about that. Okay. So if I'm going too fast, don't worry. Just hit the pause button. Hit the pause button, go back and do all your rings. Keep alternating colors between the green and the orange and the yellow, and work your way from the sun out. And then just come back and hit play, and we'll move on to the next step. Also, you guys have this recording, so if you want to do this project again, you can. Or if you wanted to use this technique as far as the sunshine goes with the sunrise and the green and the orange and the yellow, you can even add a little red to it if you want. You can use this technique and do a different silhouette here. And it could be any silhouette you want. It could be the silhouette of a house, or just the side of a mountain, or a rock, or I don't know, a bear if you wanted it to be. I'm just reaching for things here. But you could use this technique and then do an outline of something else here and paint it all in black. You just want your outline, whatever it is that you do, to have enough detail, like our mermaid has the tail and the face and the hair swishing out. You just want it to have enough detail so you can see what it is. You can even just do the tree and not even have the mermaid. Just do the whole, this part with the yellow, and then just do the tree part. That's up to you. But that's why I love these projects, because they're a little versatile, and you get to figure out, you know, how else you can use it for your own purposes and to make a little something different if you want. Okay? It's art. I always say art can't be wrong. Okay? So once again, I'm going in here and I'm outlining the black. That's why we weren't worried about where our orange and our yellow went to, because now when we go over with our black, as long as our paint underneath is dry, we get really nice coverage with the black. Okay? And I'm going to go in here. I'm cleaning up these edges, and I'm adding in all my black paint. And once again, you can see I'm messy and I'm going off the paper, but don't really care about that because that's why I have a table covering. Now I'm still using the big brush, but as we get to the mermaid and the tree limbs, we'll probably have to switch to our smaller brush. And if you can see, I'm just using the edge of the brush to go ever so slowly around the mermaid. Okay? When I run out of paint, I just pick up a little bit more. And I'm going back in here. I had to change direction a little bit. And I'm just going around. Now, if you wanted to, you could take your liner brush and you can go in and outline the whole entire thing first. You can do her whole body. First with the liner brush, and then go back in and fill it in either with your liner brush or your larger flat brush. It's up to you, whatever you feel more comfortable with. And here where her arms are, I am going to attempt to keep this liner brush and go over this little tiny triangle here. Like I said, it's very small, it's inconsequential. If you end up painting over it, that's fine, don't fret. You could always go back in and add in the green triangle when you're done, or you can leave it. It's not that big a deal. And what do I always say? It's art, it can't be wrong. So now I'm going to switch between my big brush and my little brush. But you use the brush you're comfortable with. Okay, if you think it's a little too hard to paint with this big brush in the body and these swirls and curves, feel free to use your liner brush. I mean, I might mess up, I'm hoping I don't, but I'm going to use my big brush. And I'm constantly moving my project around. It just makes it, I don't know, easier for me to do my strokes sometimes. Like, see there, I just messed up a little bit, so I'm just going to take the black and swish in there and fix it. Okay? And then I'm still going to use this brush up in here to do these parts. And then I will switch to my little brush. Let me see. How far do we go out here? I lost some of mine in here in the green, but that's okay. There we go, there we go, there we go. Okay, now I will switch to my liner brush, okay? So this is what I have. I'm always putting my brush in my mouth. Oh no, that was my branches. So this is what I have. Doesn't it look cool? Okay? And like I said, if I'm going too fast, feel free to put it on pause and get caught up or follow on to the, get caught up and wait for me to be on to the next step. And don't worry. Plus, you will have this recording. You can watch it as many times as you want. There's also a little triangle in here, okay, that I'm just going to outline real quick while I can see it. If you look on your reference photo, you'll see what I'm talking about. And now I'm just using this brush and I'm making my branches the thickness of the brush or just a little bit thinner and pulling them in to the trunk. Okay? Some of them are thinner, some of them are thicker, and you'll see you can make them thicker the more you push on your brush, the thicker the strokes will be. So if I want a skinny one, I will not put so much pressure on my brush like that. If I want a fat branch, I will put a lot more pressure on my brush so this spreads out the hairs of my brush and I get a fatter branch. And it's good to have all your branches be different sizes, because that's basically, you know, how a tree is. Trees have all fat branches and thick branches and skinny branches. Okay. I'm just going to go in, I'm just going to touch up some areas where I think maybe I didn't have enough coverage, or like here my branches didn't touch. If I missed a little spot, and you could even go in, and I'll show you this, I'm going to twirl in my black paint a little bit, and I'm going to just go in here and I'm going to add some little skinny ones, and it's just the liner brush and you're making Y's. So you branch off here and you make a little Y there. Not a lot of pressure. And see how skinny that is? So you can come off of here a little bit and you make a Y. And the same thing down here. I can do a little one like this. Make a Y, make a Y, make a Y. And then we have some fat branches, some medium branches, some skinny branches. They can cross over one another. Okay, and these you can put wherever you want. These did not have to be traced on. You can just go in here and add them wherever you want. And it's just a matter of making these Y's or these V's. Whatever you want it, if you want it to be a V or a Y, whatever you think you should call it. And that's it, I just go adding them on in there. And some of them go over and cross over some of the others. Okay. There you go. And so like I said, if you lost this little triangle here, you can go back in and draw one in with your green. Otherwise, let me show you. So this is what we have. And like I said, you could even do this again and leave the mermaid out. Just make this like a rock. Oh, you know what I forgot? I forgot the dolphin. Okay, we'll go in and add the dolphin. You could just have the tree. You can have as many branches or as least branches as you want. You could even do this part in black and purples and greens and make it more of a spooky kind of effect with having like this dead tree on the side or a spooky house. There's so many things you can do with this technique. So I'm just getting a little carried away. Anyway, so I have to add in my dolphin, which I did not pre-trace. And sorry to say I can paint, but I can't draw. So I'm going to attempt to do the dolphin. Okay? And we'll see. I could get a pencil. I could attempt to trace it again, but I'm not. I'm going to be brave. I'm going to try this, okay? And we'll see. It's art. It can't be wrong, right? And your dolphin is very tiny. It's way off in the distance. Jumping out of the water. Okay. Have a fin down here. And then he has his fin up in here. All right. Not bad. Okay? So, now we're going to rinse our black. And we're going to pick up some white. So, when we wash our brush off, we want to squeeze it in the paper towel. Okay? And then we're going to go back and we're going to pick up some white now. A nice area of my white. I have some blue in there from before. So I'm just going to pick up some of my white. And we're going to go around our sun. Okay? And then this is very light. So we're going to use a very light touch here, just like we used with the little skinny branches. We're going to use a very light touch just to highlight some of these circles. Now they're not going to go all the way around. They're just going to be partial. We're going to make definition between the bands. Up in here. Around here. Okay? And then if you look at your reference photo, there's these little swirls. Start in the middle and come out. And if you want them to be different shapes or go in different, I guess, directions, you can turn your page. And now you can add these swirls if you want. They're different sizes. Or you don't have to add them. You can leave them off. I'm putting them on here so you guys can see what they look like with them on. Made that one small. I make this one small in here. Make a real tiny one up here. Maybe add just one more here. Okay? And then last but not least, we always want to sign our artwork. And you can do it in the yellow, you can do it in the orange. I'm going to do it in the white because that's what I have out now. And what I do is I just add my initials to the bottom, just like that. Okay? So, there we have our sunrise silhouette mermaid. And like I said, don't forget, you can use this technique with different colors. You can use a different silhouette here for where your mermaid and your tree is. You can leave out the mermaid, whatever you want to do. So I hope you enjoyed this class and I hope you enjoyed this kit. And you guys have a great day and I hope to see you again.